So they did discuss, Imani, about some issues within the black community. NBC actually asked a direct question to them, and they actually went to kind of have a conversation about this, and they all weighed in on this issue. So, Aaron, play that clip for me.
Secretary Clinton, this is a community that has suffered a lot of heartache in the last year. Of course, as you mentioned, the church shootings. We won't forget the video of Walter Scott being shot in the back while running from police. We understand that a jury will decide whether that police officer was justified, but it played straight to the fears of many African-American men that their lives are cheap.
Pause.
Is it perception, or in your view, is it reality?
Well, sadly.
So, and I feel like I have to, and I understand that what the question was, but I feel like it's very important to point out that centering that around black men is problematic. When black women are, in fact, dying in the streets as well. When trans women of color are dying in the streets as well. So when you just say black men, I feel like that's actually erasing the struggle of a lot of other folks in the community. And so
especially because the Black Lives Matter movement was begun by black queer women.
Founded, yes.
Founded
begun.
by black.
Really? You said begun by? Is that what,
yeah, are you really going to sit here and criticize my language, son? After I sat up in here for 2 hours waiting for you to make me look pretty?
But you look so pretty.
I do, don't I?
Yeah, see, all that smack talk, but I sat here and I was wanting to make sure that you're coloring and everything. I worked that out.
Okay, so let me start over. Black Lives Matter was founded by black queer women. And I have to say, I think it was Trudy on Twitter said, of course he didn't mention black men because whatever talking points he was fed didn't, or sorry, she said, of course he didn't mention black women because whatever talking points he was fed did not include black women.
Well, I mean, and that's an issue with the questions of the evening. The idea when they specifically did that, and when I saw it, I immediately was like, hey, and someone's like, well, you didn't ask, like, it's not, they asked specifically about black men. And by the way, there's a black woman who said this to me, and in my mind was like, I understand what they asked. I'm saying that's not how they should have asked. That's not how they should have centered this. We know that there is a crisis and it's affecting everybody. Like it's affecting black men, it's affecting black women, and black women are being found dead, being shot. Like, this is not something that is just us, and we have to make sure that when we talk about black death, we're not centering black men as the only victims of this. That black women are, in fact, dealing with this. Trans women of color, how many of them are being found dead? It's actually an epidemic within their community. So let's make sure that we mention that. And when you ask questions like that, especially if you're coming from the position of a journalist, you should make sure to be as inclusive when you're talking about those things as possible, because we know that there's a problem.
You think
we know?
Yeah, we know. But I mean, do you think that the people moderators really are that? Listen. I mean,
isn't that the point of being a journalist? And isn't that how you get chosen? No. Isn't that how you get chosen to speak for this?
Cute.
I mean,
it's adorable when you're all like all starry-eyed. Like, isn't that what journalism is about? Facts and asking questions.
That's why the fact that
let's hear what the answers on this. Remember, they're asking about the epidemic of police brutality and things of that nature. Let's hear the answer. Let's let them cook.
It's reality, and it has been heartbreaking and incredibly outraging to see the constant stories of young men like Walter Scott, as you said, who have been killed by police officers. There needs to be a concerted effort to address the systemic racism in our criminal justice system, and that requires a very clear agenda for retraining police officers, looking at ways to end racial profiling, finding more ways to really bring the disparities that stalk our country into high relief. 1 out of 3 African-American men may well end up going to prison. That's the statistic. I want people here to think what we would be doing if it was 1 out of 3 white men. And very often the black men are arrested, convicted, and incarcerated for offenses that do not lead to the same results for white men. So we have a very serious problem that we can no longer ignore.
Your time is
Pause. So, did you actually just hit the pause button, Aaron? So wow, Hillary really went in there, huh? She just laid it all. She said she just said it to their face. She's like, "Listen, black people, black men, they're going through stuff 1 in 3. I go to jail. Well, look at it. Like we got, and they're being policed for stuff that white men wouldn't do. If a white man like, ooh man, you were in there like that. Yeah, all right, cool. It needs a very clear agenda. Cool. What's your agenda? How you gonna do it? It's gonna happen. What's your game plan?
Where that plan at?
Where that plan at, girl?
She needs a plan. She just talked about a plan. So she goes, when you say it needs a plan, you're actually running for the role of plan person. So you should then have the plan prepared because you're not like the friend of, like, I'm not like, you're not my homie my homie's got the plan. We need a plan. My homie right here has got you.
In my first 100 days, one of the first things I want to tackle is the issue of Black death and the fact that black folks are being targeted for things that would not be arrested, that the white community wouldn't be arrested for, the over-policing of the communities. I plan in my first 100 days to put together a task force that will specifically be working on that. I plan in my first 100 days to, they could have easily laid out some stuff. Because she hit the mark, like whoever prepped her, they prepped the shit out of her. Like someone was like, all right, you got to hit him. You got to hit him with that and point out that if it was happening to white people, whatever, so that like she can go back, she can walk into black churches like, see what I said, see what I did when I was out there. I called them the hell out. Cool though, but what's your plan? Not to be funny, it's very easy to point this out because I'm sorry if I'm being, I guess I'm asking for too much, but the fact is that we know that black folks are being over-policed. We know for a fact, this is not something that's been brand new. This is something that we've been dealing with for decades, right? We know that black people are being over-policed. We know that black people are being arrested for things that white folks do not get arrested for, who are not harassed for. We know all, these are all facts.
Yeah, but
the fact that the fact that we just had someone in a presidential debate actually acknowledge all that shouldn't be a point of like, well, yay! It should be a point about, well, it's about goddamn time. Cool, what's your plan?
Yeah. In her defense, and I can't believe I'm going to say this.
All right, I'm
in
waiting
her
for this.
defense, I don't think that she was making that statement to us, because obviously we know, or to people like us. I think she was making it to the larger American audience to the extent that there are any Trump supporters or any people who haven't really thought about it. I mean, to make that connection between, if this were white people, this wouldn't be happening, that's a way that you can sort of make that point resonate with people a little bit better. And I think that's what she was going for. Was it polished and talking pointy as hell? Absolutely. Does she need a plan? Absolutely. But I think that it was important for her to frame the issue of over-policing and incarceration the way that she did.
I feel like, Imani, she could have easily framed that in a shorter and quicker way that actually then allowed her to say what things that she would implement.
Right. Oh, I agree.
Like she could the whole idea of about black people being over-policed. You could have said that. She could have hit those points pretty fast. Pretty much, and like boom, boom, and when I am elected, I will do A, B, C, D, E to make sure that stops.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Right, I understand. Like, and because I realize that like people love to point out that I'm being so hard on the candidates, and I'm like, I don't feel as if I'm being hard on the candidates. I feel as if I'm asking for something that they seem oh so ready to give in all so many other circumstances, except around these issues, except for the fact that we're dying in the streets.
Bernie Sanders has a plan to disband Chase Bank, apparently.
Right.
I'm like, he's ready to disband Chase Bank.
He has a game plan.
He's ready to walk in. He's going to go in there. It's going to work out for him within 100 days.
He's going to set the plan in motion in the first 100 days, and then by a year after that,
that's going to work out.
That's it. He's going to throw this down. Aaron, let the video ride, please.
Senator DeSantis, my next question is for you.
To what the secretary said. We have a criminal justice system which is broken. Who in America is satisfied that we have more people in jail than any other country on earth, including China, disproportionately African American and Latino? Who is satisfied that 51% of African American young people are either unemployed or underemployed? Who is satisfied that millions of people have police records for possessing marijuana when the CEOs of Wall Street companies who destroyed our economy have no police records.
Senator Sanders.
So we need to take a very hard look at our criminal justice system, investing in jobs and education, not in jail.
So
he didn't answer the question.
I mean, but he wanted to jump in on that.
Do you think his right hand actually works, or is it just like a rubber appendage, like hook?
What?
Like, is it like his right hand? Like, I've watched him talk for so long that I've just been watching him wag his right rubber hand at us for about 7 months.
Aaron, that man is like, I think that man's like 74
That's
years
why
old.
I'm
You don't know
asking
what's
if
happening
it's
with
his
his hand.
real
He could
hand.
have,
I'm not
he could have,
making fun of
he
it.
could
I'm
have
asking the
what is it?
question.
The thing, arthritis. He could have like some nerve damage. You could have anything. You know, it's like,
I was wondering, it could be a fake hand. It could be a real hand.
Okay, stop. Why are
be...
you starting a rumor, Aaron? That
It's not a
that
rumor.
Bernie,
I was asking questions.
Why are you Fox Newsing the shit out of this?
Fox News anything.
Stop
I
being
can ask for information.
Aaron, you've just added correspondent to Fox News to your long list of titles.
Do I get paid for it?
No.
Fuck this.
that's 3. But that's what you just added. Like correspondent to Fox News, Aaron Rand Freeman. you can't be making that up. Stop that.
Oh dear.
What?
Stop it. Lord. So yeah, that's. Yeah, I mean, who's okay with it? Well, actually, a lot of people are okay with it, sir.
Yeah, plenty of people are okay
not
with
to
it.
be
And
funny.
it's like, it's just pablum, you know? We've got more people in jail than France and China. And like, okay, yeah, great. And then somehow he immediately pivots to, and then black people are underemployed. And I'm like, but we were talking about the criminal justice system. Is there a way that you can maybe talk about racial justice without immediately talking about economic justice?
Here's the thing about that, Imani. I am not going to. I believe that there is a connection.
Of course there is.
In those things, but it's not the solution.
Nope.
Because I mean, like Sandra Bland wasn't underemployed.
Nope.
You know what I mean? The fact is that like there are lots of folks that got shot, that are shot and killed, and they had jobs. They were good on that. So that's not. It would be lovely. I believe Sarah Florini, TWiB historian, pointed out that Bernie Sanders could he pivots always to the economy. They can ask him, well, what's your lunch order, and he'd somehow be able to pivot to the economy. Just like, listen, there are a lot of pastrami people, pastrami makers that are unemployed right now.
Right.
We need more pastrami so that we can employ more people.